Welcome to AC 24/7. I'm Aaron Dean. More gay and bisexual men will be able to give blood under new donation rules now in effect. The FDA created new screening questions to reduce the risk of transmitting HIV. All potential blood donors will be now asked the same questions regarding... Oops. The top got away from me. All potential blood donors will now be asked the same questions regardless of gender or sexual orientation. Information about sexual partners and current medication will help determine whether someone is eligible to safely donate blood. The FDA's new rules are in line with other countries, including the UK and Canada. Elon Musk says that he found a new CEO for Twitter, which now goes by the name of X Corp. In a tweet, the SpaceX and Tesla founder says that Linda Yaccarino will start in about 6 weeks. She's leaving her role as chairman of global advertising and partnerships at NBC Universal. Selecting a new CEO would follow through on a promise that he made a few months back. Musk has said that he plans to become Twitter's executive chair and chief technology officer, and he's still the owner since he bought the company back in October. The expiration of a pandemic-era restriction that will significantly alter several years of U.S. immigration policy has arrived. And it's now threatening chaos as tens of thousands of migrants mass near the U.S.-Mexican border. Title 42 was issued during the onset of the COVID-19 pandemic. It allowed authorities to swiftly turn away migrants at the U.S. borders to prevent the spread of COVID. But that changed this week when the public health emergency and Title 42 lapsed. The U.S. government now returns to a decades-old section of U.S. Code known as Title 8, which Homeland Security warns will carry more severe consequences for migrants who enter the country illegally. A Marine veteran accused of killing a homeless man who witnesses said was acting erratically on a New York City subway has surrendered to police. The Manhattan DA's office says that 24-year-old Daniel Penny faces a second-degree manslaughter charge. It's been almost 2 weeks since Penny held Jordan Neely in a deadly chokehold. They described Penny approaching him from behind, putting him in that chokehold, and pinning him to the ground until he was unconscious. The Advocate Channel's Omar Jimenez has more.
It's a killing that's divided a city. Now, Daniel Penny, the 24-year-old U.S. Marine veteran seen here, set to be prosecuted for holding Jordan Neely in a chokehold that killed him aboard a New York subway train earlier this month.
Manslaughter here means recklessness or indifference to human life. So much here is going to turn on the specifics, the interaction that led up to it. It's a tricky case.
Penny's attorneys releasing a statement saying he risked his own life and safety for the good of his fellow passengers, adding, "We are confident that once all the facts and circumstances surrounding this tragic incident are brought to bear, Mr. Penny will be fully absolved of any wrongdoing." The charge comes after the Manhattan District Attorney's Office spent the weekend and much of this week reviewing witness accounts and video of the incident. The medical examiner ruled Neely's death a homicide, determining the cause was compression of the neck, a chokehold. Witnesses on the subway said Neely was acting erratically beforehand.
Start to yelling, violence, language. I don't care if I die. I don't care if I'm going to jail. I don't have any food.
Juan Alberto Vasquez recorded the interaction and told CNN last week that despite any aggressive or frightening behavior, Neely hadn't attacked anyone. Neely's family says the 30-year-old street performer had suffered for years with mental illness and homelessness, while sources tell CNN he had been arrested more than 40 times, including for 3 assaults, though it's unlikely anyone on the train car that day knew any of that. Neely's death has ignited days of protests.
This has been a week of strong emotions in our city,
while also refocusing attention on struggles with homelessness and mental illness across New York City and across the country.
One thing we can say for sure, Jordan Neely did not deserve to die. And all of us must work together to do more for our brothers and sisters struggling with serious mental illness.
President Joe Biden's second meeting to discuss a deal to avert a default on the national debt has been postponed. It would have been their second in less than a week, but according to a White House spokesperson, the leaders will reconvene next week. It remains unclear exactly why the meeting was postponed. A source familiar with the matter insists the delay allows more time for staff-level talks and will ensure that the leaders' next meeting will be more productive. If the U.S. breaches on its debt, the country could reportedly face an economic collapse and the loss of millions of jobs. Another problem that could come if the U.S. goes broke, more damage to the already reeling real estate industry. According to Zillow, home sales would collapse up to 23% with rates for 30-year fixed-rate mortgages going up more than 8% by this fall. House Speaker Kevin McCarthy's Limit, Save, Grow plan raises the debt ceiling $1.5 trillion but cuts some domestic programs. But President Joe Biden says certain red lines will not be crossed, including the Inflation Reduction Act. The federal government can't stop gun dealers from selling handguns to 18 to 20-year-olds. That's according to a federal judge's ruling this week. It's a question that the Supreme Court threw back to lower courts last year. The judge ruled off criteria set by the justices to look at gun regulations in effect when the Constitution was written. He concluded that at the time, since the age group could vote and enlist in the military, that the Constitution's intent would not be to ban them from owning guns. The measure could likely go back to the High Court because of a similar Florida ruling. President Biden has nominated World Bank official Adriana Kugler to join the Financial Reserve Board. If confirmed, the Colombian-American economist would be the first Latina to serve on the board. The latest move by Biden to diversify the central bank. Kugler was confirmed with bipartisan support last year to serve as the U.S. executive director to the World Bank. She previously worked in the Obama administration as the Labor Department chief economist. Mother's Day, a time when we celebrate all things mom, and a great time to focus on the well-being of all caregivers. The Advocate Channel's Mindy Gaither has tips to help keep moms healthy all year long.
Being a mom can be rewarding, but also stressful.
Your job as a mom, as a caregiver, has never been harder, and your job in this day and age, in this moment in history, has never been more important.
Cardiologist Susan Chang says she sees firsthand the toll life can take on moms.
That stress manifests in a lot of different ways. Chest pain, shortness of breath.
Chang says to recognize your stress, ask for and accept help. You can also help yourself by getting enough sleep and prioritizing personal time.
Time for yourself. Time away from the stress, from the crisis of the day. Time away to just sit alone, no devices, hopefully no noise, no distractions.
Chang says helping caregivers take this time falls on the rest of the family.
You think about what a typical mom or a typical caregiver does around the house. It's all the little things, picking up the little things, the following up on little things, and that all adds up.
So help a mother out this weekend.
Happy Mother's Day.
And always. For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Thank you for joining us for AC 24/7. For more, go to theadvocatechannel.com and subscribe on the Advocate Channel YouTube page. For AC 24/7, I'm Aaron Dean.